Today, we're going to talk about something that causes a lot of confusion and frustration in families dealing with memory loss. Maybe this situation sounds familiar. A family member says, "Mom, your memory's getting worse." But the mom responds, "No, it isn't. I'm fine. Just because I forget something here or there doesn't mean anything. You need to mind your own business. I see you forget things." Both mom and the family member walk away frustrated at each other. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thrive Right Minds and Modern Aging. I'm Penny Brown. For over 20 years, I've helped older adults understand how their brains work and how to keep them strong, connected, and engaged. Today, we're going to talk about how family members can clearly see changes in someone's memory, but the person experiencing those changes often truly believes nothing is wrong. That can lead to arguments, frustration, and hurt feelings on both sides. But what if I told you that this may not be stubbornness at all? This is actually a neurological reason this happens, and understanding it can completely change how families approach memory loss. Here's a brain skill most people don't know about. Our brain has an ability called metacognition. That's a big word that simply means thinking about our thinking. It's the brain's ability to step back and evaluate itself. For example, you notice when you make a mistake. You recognize when you forget something. You realize when you need help remembering something. That awareness comes from special brain networks, especially in the frontal lobes. But here's the key point. In conditions like mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's disease, those self-awareness systems can also be affected. When that happens, a person may lose the ability to clearly see that their own memory changes. Scientists call this condition anosognosia. The word literally means without knowledge of illness. In other words, the brain loses the ability to accurately evaluate itself. This is more common than people realize. Research suggests that 40 to 80% of people with Alzheimer's disease experience this. That means the brain system responsible for noticing problems may also be affected by the disease itself. So when someone says, "I don't have memory problems," this may generally believe that. They may generally believe that, and it's not denial. It's not pride. It's a neurological change in the brain. A simple way to understand this: imagine a thermostat that cannot detect temperature. Even if the room is freezing, the thermostat still reads 70 degrees. The problem isn't stubbornness. Something very similar happens in our brain. The system that monitors memory and thinking may not be working properly, and the sensor is broken. The lack of self-awareness, this also bleeds into the lack of self-care, of the lack of awareness that they may need to bathe, or they have worn the same outfit for several days. This is so hard for families. This is one of the most emotional, difficult parts of memory disorders. Family members see changes clearly, but the person experiences those changes cannot see them the same way. So families often try to reason with them. They say things like, "Don't you remember I told you already?" Or, "You just asked me that." But here's the problem. From the perspective of the person with memory loss, they are simply asking the question for the first time. They're not trying to be difficult. Their brain is just processing information differently. Understanding this one concept can reduce a tremendous amount of family conflict. One important shift in perspective: instead of blaming the person, we begin to blame the disease. This shift helps replace frustration with compassion. It helps families understand that these behaviors are symptoms of brain changes, not personality flaws. Communication makes a huge difference when supporting someone with memory loss. In dementia training programs, caregivers are often taught phrases that instantly reduce stress and confusion. So here are 10 powerful examples. Here's the first one. It's okay. We'll figure it out together. Now this removes pressure and reassures the person they're not alone. Here's number 2. Let me help you with that. This offers support without taking away dignity. Number 3. That's a good question. Even if the question has been asked before, this response validates the person instead of correcting them. Number 4. Take your time. Memory changes often slow processing speed. Giving the brain time can make a big difference. Number 5. I'm glad you told me. This encourages communication and builds emotional safety. Number 6. Let's look at this together. This creates a team approach instead of a power struggle. Number 7. You're doing great. Positive feedback helps reduce anxiety and build confidence. Number 8. Let's write it down so we can both remember. Now, post this in a place they frequently walk by. This provides a helpful memory aid without placing blame. If you are at your wit's end with the same question and you know they will be coming back to you to ask the same question, take a moment and write an answer on a note card. When they come to you with a repeated question, give them the note to read. This validates their question. If they ask again, say, I believe it's in the note you have in your pocket or your purse. Having a note with a written answer tends to validate and satisfy their question. My experience of using a note has been successful in calming an agitated person looking for an answer or even looking for a person. They look at the note, read it aloud, say, okay, and they go about their business. This provides a helpful memory aid without placing blame. Number 9, you're safe, I'm here. Reassurance is incredibly calming when someone feels confused. Usually when they ask the same question again and again, they're feeling anxious. Number 10, thank you for your patience. This preserves dignity and respect. Something very important to remember even when memory is affected. Emotional memory often remains strong. A person may forget the conversation, but they will often remember how they felt. The person with dementia may not remember who you are or why you are important to them, but they know you care and love them. Kind communication can create calm, trust, and cooperation. Frustration and sharp remarks do the opposite. Here's something to think about. If you are experiencing memory changes yourself, how would you want someone to speak to you? Would you want to feel corrected or supported? This simple question often helps caregivers shift their approach. Understanding the brain helps us replace frustration with compassion. When someone with memory loss cannot recognize their own changes, it may be because the brain's awareness system is also affected. So, the most helpful thing we can do is communicate with patience, kindness, and respect, because connection is always more powerful than correction. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the Thrive Bright Minds channel, where we explore science-based ways to keep our brains active and engaged as we age. And remember, you are not expired, you are evolving. All right, can't wait to see you again. See you next time. Bye.